Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Lumen. With me today is the wonderful and great Derek, also known as BlackJackDavie. How are you doing this morning?
Doing all right. Ready for some farming.
Yeah, I see we've got a nice big crowd in here already. Also ready for some farming here. Hello to all of you in chat, including a couple semifinalists themselves, KIMBALL and FOFO, here to check out what smack talk we're throwing their way. So on the top left of your screen here, you see all of you can see the standings for Agricola Season 3. Oh, and we have TURAMBAR also. Great. Lovely. So Derek, do you want to give me like a quick recap of the season, the ups and downs, how the format was structured?
Sure. Yeah. So just like the last two seasons, everyone played 10 games, same scoring structure. People got 12, 6, 3, or 1 point for finishing first, second, third, fourth, and ties are split. And then each week we kind of played a different format. We switched. Not every single week was different. We had some repeats, but there was like a revised week, a week with just the old printed cards, kind of mix and matching between formats. And then at the end of it, the top 3 players made the final table, or will make the final table, and then the next 4 will play in the game we're about to stream for the last final spot. With the exception that Norden watched, that you can see up there, that spot, he had to drop out partway through the season. He got really busy, so we had someone else play that. So that spot was not qualified. So if you kind of overlook that piece, you can see the top 8 players there are the ones that are still left in this thing.
Right. Was there any drama? I know, like, obviously Dejf and Graey are, like, miles ahead of everyone else here. So was there any drama for, like, that last auto final seat? Was there drama for these semifinal seats?
Yeah, there was actually. It came down. We had a makeup game that we had to make up later in the season, and it came down to Catchy fighting for the last playoff spot, and it was, I think if he won first place outright, he made it all the way into the final. If he came in second or tied for first, he made the playoff, and then if he was below that, didn't make the playoff, and M&M would get in, who you see there. So Catchy tied for first in that game and made the playoff. So that's kind of where we're at, and knocked M&M out.
Wow, okay. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it was pretty up there at the top. It was pretty a string of like 6 or 7 players pretty close together there.
Yeah, okay. I guess that brings us to the awards section. You're well known for making the seasons a very fun event for everyone, and one of the things you do is to bring out these awards. Now, I told you to like limit these awards down because it was a really long list, and some of these were kind of like corresponding with the standings, or I think less relevant for this cast specifically. Uh, it seems like one name in the awards seems to come up more than the others.
Yeah, Dave has had he won 8 out of 10 games, so that's pretty huge. So it doesn't always work that the same player wins them, most of the awards, but this time he did win quite a bit. There's a couple interesting ones though. You see most improved down there. Actually, that one was a tie. Graey and mikechike both had 23 more points than they did the previous season, so they won that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Another one I was looking at, Rookie of the Year, obviously, CATCHYSLIM, who's in the playoff we're about to cast today, won that and is still in contention. And then I mentioned M&M didn't make it, so he got the honorable mention. FOFO, who we're also casting today, won the Crusher Award by winning a game by 22 points over second place, which was huge.
Okay, I see FOFO sticking with people who are in this game is also the bridesmaid. 4 bridesmaid points.
Yep, that's 4 the most second place finishes over the season, so 4 seconds.
And I mean, the points penalty for coming in second is just like massive in the seasons table. Like 2 seconds equals a first.
Yeah, it's a big drop off, but we wanted to set it up so that if you won the most games, you would do the best, basically. So that's the.
It's hard to argue you didn't succeed there. Pretty sure that's how it's working.
Yeah, I think we definitely have the top players left for sure.
Yeah, and then one more for Catchy. What is Super Farm Team? Catchy's the owner of a Super Farm Team. What is this?
Well, actually, so that award goes to the 4 players. So it's actually Catchy, KIMBALL, TURAMBAR, and WSH Vin.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Most total points scored between all 4 players. So they had a game where 250 points were scored, which is
oh my god,
pretty bonkers. I think 3 of them were up in the 60s. The other one was pretty close. So yeah, it was a crazy game.
So I think, as you mentioned, each week is more or less a different collection being played in the game. Was that Super Farm Team game due to like wild collections?
Oh, that is a good question. I did look at that. Let me check real quick which week that was that they did that.
If you
that
don't,
was it's G456 plus what we're casting. So basically, it was G6 in addition to the format we're going to see today.
Oh, okay. So it was pretty standard as things go.
Yep. They just got some good stuff that game.
All right, and then KIMBALL doesn't seem to be getting any awards this year directly, but TURAMBAR is the comeback kid.
Let me remind myself which one that one is. The comeback kid. That's the highest win percentage from all the games where you're seated in the 4th seat. So slight disadvantage for being in the 4th seat generally in Agricola. So TURAMBAR actually won all the games they were seated in the 4th seat. So he won that award.
That is dope. I love that award, actually. For those of you who haven't delved too deep into Agricola statistics out here on Play Agricola, 4th seat is known to win about 23% of games, something like that. And you don't actually want to compare 23 to 25 because of ties. So you actually want to compare 23% to the average win percent of like 26 or 27%. So there is a noticeable disadvantage to going 4th. And TURAMBAR winning 100% of those is pretty cool. Now, the last award I want to point out here before we do a quick head-to-head look, you are the owner of the Bad Luck Belt.
Yeah, that one just looks at who got seated in the 4th seat the most throughout the season. So I crushed that. I was 6 of my 10 games I was in the 4th seat. So I think a couple other people had 4, but yeah, that was the most by a lot.
That is unfortunate, my friend.
That's okay though. Sometimes you like 4th seat. I like trying to I'll just let the game come to me, and take whatever is left. But some games you kind of need a specific opening. You know how it is.
Yeah. All right. So last thing, head to head. With head to head stats, it's a very small sample, admittedly. There are not too many conclusions to be gleaned, but it is fun to see how these players have done against each other. This is in seasons history, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. All the way back to the first season. It includes every time they played, which some of these players weren't in the earlier seasons. But every time they faced each other, this is how they matched up so far.
Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few even matches here, like 1.5 to 1.5, 1 to 1. There's a couple 2-0s. It looks like KIMBALL has lost to Catchy twice.
What beat Catchy twice?
Oh, beat Catchy twice. Okay.
Yeah.
And that means that TURAMBAR has beat FOFO twice.
Yep.
Okay, and then FOFO's beaten KIMBALL 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't bode well for KIMBALL in today's game.
No. Okay, it's a fun, quick look here. Any other things you want to point out from this head-to-head?
No, I think, like you said, it's pretty small sample size. But eventually, if we keep doing these, we'll probably build a big enough, sample to get something out of. It's just kind of fun to look at. I track every player against every other player for all the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about the players today and kind of
pretty quickly here? I think they've already started the game and we'll be ready to draft once we're there.
Yeah. I think we casted the finals last year, and TURAMBAR was in that game. You probably know TURAMBAR a bit better than I do, but phenomenal player. I guess the current Norway champion. Is that
Yeah,
right?
if he's not the current Norway champion, he's been Norway champion at least 80% of the time that
Wow.
they've had championships. So he made it to the World Championships when they had a spot for Norwegians. His win rate on play-agricola, as anyone can see, is like 53% or something like that. Last I checked, it's really crazy. Then we all know KIMBALL as one of the most addicted Agricola players out there. He's got something like 4,000 something games. It might be 5,000 now. I don't actually know.
It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. KIMBALL was in the playoff game we cast last year also. I think maybe missed the playoffs barely the first season, made it to the playoffs last season, and here again this season is in the playoffs. So strong player for sure.
Yep. CATCHYSLIM, I think is relatively new to the Play Agricola community, but seems to have done quite well for himself in this season's tournament.
Yeah, made it into the playoffs in a pretty tough field. Seems to be a pretty strong player. Yeah, don't know much about him. Haven't seen him on the site a long time, but yeah, he's been around the last over the pandemic, I guess, and this is the first season he's played in.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, FOFO. FOFO's been a pretty strong Play Agricola player for a long time, and has been in seasons. Has she been in the playoff game before? I don't actually remember.
I think didn't play in the first season, played in the second season, finished a couple spots out of the playoff in season 2, and did a little bit better this year and made it in.
Okay, got it. So a lot like her Play Agricola history in that she's been very consistent.
Yep.
All right, I think we are ready to get into this game. I need to do some testing live to make sure we can see everyone's hands, but I'm very excited again to bring us the player hand technologies here. So in we go.
Okay, so I think they've started the game but not started drafting cards.
Okay, I am seeing some weirdness here. Okay,
Whoa.
so I think we see packs for KIMBALL, and let me actually fix these up. I don't actually know if these are the right order. Oh, I did have it in the right order by random chance. So that is KIMBALL's opening Ock pack and TURAMBAR's opening Ock pack. CATCHYSLIM's is showing up with some E-Deck cards.
Yeah, I see that. The entire miners. That's probably not actually catchy. That must be something else it's picking up.
Yeah. I have been given FOFO's starting hand, and I'll try to bring that up here in a moment. Add a source, image, add, new source, call it image.
So while Lumen's sorting that, I'll start with talking about the two hands we do know that are right.
This is fine, right, chat? We'll just leave the FOFO's opening pack right here.
Okay, yeah, we can do that for now. In KIMBALL's hand, we see in no particular orders Workaholic, French deck card, Peon, Old Miser, Lady of the Manor, Scrounger, Cowboy, and Mother. That could be fun. Clay Deliveryman, Landscape Gardener, and Fisherman's Apprentice, maybe?
Sorry, 1 second. I'm still trying to coordinate to see what Maruskak said about the Catchy situation. Maruskak, Catchy is seeded, so maybe I should be refreshing this? Is that possible? You're working on it. Okay. No problem then. I think we can probably give the players okay to start drafting then. I'll move FOFO's hand over for now. And we can see Catchy's first pack has Hunter, Part-Time Builder, Market Woman, Church Warden, Country Doctor. Yeah, okay. So this does look like to be a pretty crazy draft in terms of power. Cowboy and Mother is definitely fun, as you said. These
Did
packs all look like they have a few playable cards.
Yeah, someone Rilo pointed out Animal Husbandry Worker will Hedge Keeper. Is that a thing? I guess that's a good thing.
It definitely could be a thing.
Okay, so they've started drafting now, so
Yep.
we'll start seeing as they pick up cards. I didn't notice what I didn't think through what Kimball's first pick would be, but I guess it could be Lady of the Manor.
No, Lady's still there. I actually missed it too. I thought it would be Workaholic or Cow Mom. Not Cow Mom, probably. I mean, Lady of the Manor and Trying to Wheel Cow Mom's definitely a thing.
Look what he picked. Fisherman's Apprentice.
Oh, wow. This is crazy. Okay, Catchy's is now working. I think this looks good, Marushka. This looks great.
Yeah, it looks like it's working fine.
And we do have to watch other players' hands to see what FOFO has been picking. But
yeah, what would you guess? Probably Champion Breeder, maybe?
probably Champion Breeder. I know Head of the Family has been kind of lower in many players' estimations recently.
Yeah, it seems like the stronger the players get, the lower the value of that card is. That's what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. And same with Freeloader. We have Freeloader and Head of the Family here, so I imagine that a smaller house strategy could very well pay off with some really late free urgent wow, I'm talking revised. Family Growth Without Room availability.
and Country Doctor. Catchy Country Doctor and Freeloader. Wow.
Oh, that's spicy. KIMBALL did pick Head of the Family second over either Champion Breeder or Market Woman. It's not something I would do. KIMBALL immediately snaps up that Church Warden after seeing Head of the Family. I imagine FOFO probably had a similar reaction seeing Church Warden, even though she didn't pick it.
Yeah, it seems kind of like she took the breeder. Let's see if she can get some payoff.
Yeah. Wow, Market Woman or Champion Breeder is going to be a fourth pick here for Catchy. We'll find out.
Market Woman, which...
Because we don't know if FOFO took... Why am I saying Market Woman? Market Woman was not in FOFO's pack. Yeah, my bad. She must have taken Champion Breeder.
Okay. I was trying to... So that was Chief's Daughter, which is another strong card, but TURAMBAR grabbed it looks like.
Yeah. TURAMBAR had a nice couple first picks here with Animal Husbandry and then finding Workaholic.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty great. It's going to be, with Champion Breeder, assuming FOFO took that, they're going to be some kind of going after animals, both of those two.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably not going to go too well for FOFO. I mean, Animal Husbandry and Workaholic, it looks pretty strong as a way to win the race to some early animals.
Yeah. Oh, mikechike in your chat pointing out that Landscape Gardener with Country Doctor is pretty great.
That is also very true, and a very good pick for Catchy to find here.
And the Wood Collector's not bad.
Yeah, well, this is actually hilarious. We can see players take cards and then put them back. As just happened. But Catchy does end up going with Wood Collector.
I was going to say Wood Collector is kind of a card that heads you to first room, but do you find people usually build one room with Country Doctor and then use the second grow with Country Doctor, or first grow with that?
This is a pretty interesting hand, honestly. Without something like Freeloader, I would usually angle for a third normal room and take my fourth person with Country Doctor. When you have something like Freeloader, you're guaranteed you can take Family Growth Without in the late game. So it's really unclear to me. I think depending on what else is found in the draft, you could easily argue one way or another. Outrider is a fun pick here for Catchy.
Let's hope so's not in the one.
Yeah, so if you haven't played Outrider much, you really want to hit it a couple times early when your late actions don't matter too much. So to be able to take sow when you already have a grain in a field, or sorry, at least a field plowed for it, is pretty necessary for Outrider games. Mike, Fofo's hand is just a screenshot of her opening pack. So we kind of have to do some memory and analysis to guess at what she picked. And that's because Fofo can't download extensions. And, you know, we have 3 players doing it. This is pretty cool still. So Lady of the Manor is still unpicked, and Cow Mom still unpicked when Kimball sees his pack come around on the wheel.
Wow. Cow Mom. I guess that's not great in a Church Warden game, or it's fine with Head of the Family, maybe?
I mean, you really are risking...
Grove, flip, and 12.
Actually, either way, you're not getting it. Even if Grove flips and 12, you're not hitting Church Warden unless you have adopted parents. Or a guest kind of thing. But Lady of the Manor and Cow Mom is just really strong on its own in the first place. Though with all the other crop-based stuff and animal-based stuff going on in this draft, maybe that would be weaker. There's also a Scrounger in this draft, which will inflate the point ceiling. Kimball, out of that pack with 2/4 Wood Ox and Cowboy and Mother, picks the Old Miser. What a champion.
Now, actually, it was last season, Season 2 playoff game. Old Miser won the day. Remember, CS Junior had it.
CS played a really wonderful Old Miser game, and Kimball, with some Head of the Family, Church Warden, Yeoman Farmer, seems to be leaning into it and picks a Stone Carrier.
Ooh.
No. Yeah, he takes that back. Come on, man. Yeah, Clerk would have been good if he didn't have Old Miser, but I think Clay Worker, you know, makes enough sense. You can build a room out of clay for your 4th person, Head of the Family on Growth Without Room for the 5th person.
Okay, so I asked them to hold off before starting to draft Minor so you can get Fofo's screenshot.
Thank you. Quick. Yeah, Turambar looks like he has a very solid hand. Scrounger was also picked 7th here.
Yeah. Do you think he goes for part-time builder?
I think he probably does. With Workaholic, it's very tempting to. You could also do a late part-time builder. There's no specific reason he saw to do 4 stables except for Lady. And because... Does Turambar know it's a Church Warden game, or does he not? He's right behind Kimball.
I think not. Wasn't it Fofo's pack and Kimball got it 3rd?
Yeah, I'm actually not looking because I'm trying to get ready for Fofo's Minor pack here.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we'll try to explain some of these cards, since I assume some people watching me are Board Game Arena players that don't know the older cards that didn't get reprinted.
Possibly, yeah, go for it.
The Animal Husbandry Worker, the Turambar's first pick, super strong card that allows you to fence when you play it, and then you get a discount of wood based on how early you play it. So I think the max is you get like a 4 wood discount if you play it in round 5 or before. So it's a great tempo card for getting fences. It also awards 2 points to whoever has the most pastures at the end. So it sort of makes everyone build those little 5 1x1 pastures. Is usually what the effect is. Which is great for Turambar, who has Workaholic, which gives you a bunch of resources if you have animals. So you play that, grab the early animals, and then Workaholic to get resources later. Okay, so I'll let them know once you get the screenshot from Fofo to start going. But it looks like some of their minor packs are coming in. Actually, Turambar may have already made a couple picks. Yeah.
One player has already made, I think it's Kimball, made a pick already.
Kimball first picked Diary. Interesting.
Yeah, Kimball is known for wanting to play all of his Ox, and Diary definitely helps with that.
Yeah, and I guess with Fisherman's Apprentice, that kind of enables it also.
Oh, it looks like I just did one thing correctly and it changed. So, yeah.
Okay, so we got Fofo's.
Fofo's opening Miners pack.
Okay, I'm looking for some of the stronger cards. Let's see. Turambar started with Plum Patch, which...
always reasonable.
Great card. Yeah, solid. Iron Oven for Catchy, which is just a great oven to get food going, and he's going to have grain, I guess, with the landscape and country doctor, so it's going to be nice.
Yeah, this is really fun. I'm always a fan personally of baking games, and this seems like a pretty good setup for one, as long as so is not in the one slot.
Oh, wow. Mike saying the Almanac with Champion Breeder. That could be good. I wonder if FOFO would go for that as a first pick. I guess in this pack, maybe. That pack's not that strong.
Well, we can watch that pack as it now goes to TURAMBAR. It looks like it's going slightly off screen, but I think it's possible that FOFO did pick that. It's also possible that Minor Field. I mean, that FOFO pack is really weak.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the conclusion we made last time with these hands kind of overflowing a tiny bit is we just deal with it until they all play a card. And then it gets okay again. Yeah, okay.
Let's see. KIMBALL with Brickyard and Clay Worker. I guess that seems a bit strange to me.
KIMBALL is going like full-on resource attack here. Like, this is a strategy you can do, not drafting point ceiling directly in the card, like, printed value or bonuses, but instead to, hope for guilds later and make sure you can build everything on the farm that you want to. And I mean, it's a valid strategy in a lot of ways, but especially when there are, 4 Wood Ox in this game or something like that.
Right, yeah, that could help.
Most of them.
Yeah, help with Scrounger a bit, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Alchemist Lab, the third pick for KIMBALL, that's it gives you one of each resource you already have. Is that right?
Right. It creates a new action space, and anyone can go there and pay the owner of the lab 1 food to get a resource of each type they already have. Earlier in chat, Rilo said Golden Rose great for Catchy. Unfortunately for Catchy, it was sniped by TURAMBAR a seat ahead. TURAMBAR has been passing to Catchy this whole game and does not know about Country Doctor, but does know about Landscape Gardener. Not sure if that played a small role. I personally hate I hate passing Golden Rose if I know I've passed any real support for it. Also, we should note for Outrider's sake, Landscape Gardener does give some protection against So in the One.
That's true. Yeah. In fact, Outrider might not even make the cut, but I guess maybe it will.
Where else is the grain coming from? Iron Oven really wants it.
Yeah, I'm looking for a way that Catchy can get the early crops, and it's just really Outrider.
Yep, and TURAMBAR has also drafted the G deck minor Itinerant Laborers, which gives you a sow action. You pass it, pay a food, and get a sow action.
It looks like TURAMBAR's just kind of angling for a very complete game with a little bit of everything going on.
Yeah, he's drafted Lady of the Manor. He's playing Workaholic. He's hopefully getting Chief's Daughter. I'm not really sure what that contractor's doing, but it does look like TURAMBAR's going to go for a small house here, in contrast to KIMBALL's big house dreams. KIMBALL's 7th pick here is Hunter. And sitting right in front of TURAMBAR, if we get early Sheep and late Major, there could be a huge swing early in the game if KIMBALL drops the Hunter.
Yeah, and he could drop it when someone else fishes too, right? Is that what the Fisherman's Apprentice?
Yeah.
And just steal the sheep or something?
Yes.
That could be nasty.
We could have some huge fireworks in this early game, depending on the rounds Chris flips for us. So we should all be hoping to Chris, praying to Chris, if you will, that we get some exciting round orders here.
Sheep in the 1, sow in the 3. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yep. We see Almanac to close an earlier guess. Almanac was actually picked 6th by KIMBALL, so it is not in FOFO's hand. FOFO, for those who don't remember, probably has Champion Breeder. We'll get one last snapshot of her hand as she starts this game.
Now, you know what I see now? I bet she took Whistle. That's another Champion Breeder support card a bit.
Oh, yeah, Whistle's a lot of fun. And, yeah, Shared Wall is in TURAMBAR's hand. So.
Yeah.
Well, Rilo, that's definitely true, but Kimball seated right in front of Turambar means that he get the jump with Hunter in some situations. Has turn order priority there, which could come into play. All right, we have a game. We see everyone's drafted hands here. And let's... Okay, we do have Sheep in the 1. Part 1 of the Stage 1 plan complete.
Okay, so Catchy star player. Doesn't need to get any of these Ox here, I guess. Guess he could go with Outrider, but...
yeah, so Catchy first. I would play Outrider here and take Sheep Green. But Catchy going with Freeloader and gonna probably take Reedstone Food. Ooh, I would not be playing it this way.
Wait, Freeloader Cup is your first person, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's interesting. I wonder what the logic here is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trying for a Reedstone Food in this kind of situation, but... we see Fofo took Reedstone. Kimball opened with 3 wood. 3 wood is probably the move for Kimball above playing Churchwarden right now or Clay Worker right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I always aggravate Kimball for... I say his favorite round 1 is 3 wood into day labor, which seems like he does a lot.
Yeah, Kimball and CS from last season was also a proponent of that, right? Though I think Old Miser makes the day labor part a lot less crucial. Turambar does play the workaholic here.
So that's the one. Yeah, you can see it there on the screen for people that only play revised. That's a kind of middle of the pack card, but can be really good if you have some enablers.
Yeah. Oh, Wallfly with a very important point on this seating order. Turambar is in the 4th seat, and Comeback Kid himself.
That's true. Yeah, 100% win rate in the 4th seat. So.
Yeah, CATCHYSLIM manually taking a grain instead of using Outrider. The disrespect for Outrider, I have to say.
Oh my goodness! Why not Sheep Grain? Oh.
I guess he just wanted to play Freeloader instead. All right, exciting. We have Fofo's hand here. Let's see if it comes up. It does. Champion Breeder, Market Woman, Hedgekeeper, Peon, Resource Dealer, Prudent Merchant, Animal Tamer.
There was a Market Woman. I didn't even see that.
I thought I saw it, yeah. Then Whistle, Winter Pond, Schnapps Distillery, Horse Barn. Is that Vegetable Harvest, perhaps? Badger and Village Well. Excuse me while I fiddle with this a tiny bit. That'll do.
Yeah, the Peon with Market Woman will be nice.
Yes.
It's a lot to
Peon Market Woman is a lot of fun. All right, catching up on the rest of round 1 here. Kimball went with Plow as second move. Turambar took 2 Clay. Fofo took 2 Wood. No one took Start Player. Yeah. Freeloader not doing so much right now.
Yeah, just not even anything.
We'll see if Catchy ends up regretting not playing Outrider. And we'll see if Freeloader is a regret later. Now, to be fair, Freeloader can't be that bad of a play in a Churchwarden game.
That's true. It's going to get some work done later, but yeah. Let's see. Kimball.
Opening with room parts. Yeah, no need to play Ox. Just get those room parts down, play Old Miser, pray to Chris for early growth. And if it's late growth, you play Head of the Family, and you're still doing great.
Yeah, and you don't have to have Head of Family for your first grow. I mean,
right.
Oftentimes you don't even need it, it seems like.
Yeah, I guess Kimball would rather pray to Chris for late growth. All right, Turambar hitting Lady of the Manor here instead of going for early part-time builder. I think that's rather sensible. With Major not coming out yet, I would expect Turambar to play Animal Husbandry Worker and try to pick up the sheep and then build a fireplace. Catchy also playing a 4-wood Ox, Scrounger, so we're getting lots of wood here in the early game.
Yeah.
Mike with a very nice question here. Who won the draft? I mean, hard to say. A lot of these drafts look pretty good. Fofo's Ox look amazing, but the minors don't look that great, and Fofo doesn't have too much support for Champion Breeder. I would probably say Turambar won this draft by a little, but KIMBALL has some real potential here.
Yeah, he's going to want to get this Fisherman's Apprentice down next round, probably, right? To pick up the first.
Yeah, Fofo starts with Whistle.
Yeah, I wonder if he reveals Churchwarden right here or goes for the Old Miser if he can get Fisherman's Apprentice down into it.
That's a great question. I think Old Miser is probably the play.
Yeah. And then Diary, maybe like start player into Diary or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see KIMBALL already has room parts and a field here. Good start to the game. All right, can Chris deliver the ultra late major for some drama here? Chris delivers round 3 major. So if KIMBALL wants to play Hunter, it has to be now. But it absolutely can do a lot of damage here. This is prime Hunter territory, and KIMBALL's going to go with Fish Apprentice.
And maybe into Hunter potentially if
yeah.
A chance.
This was a very spicy first pick, Fish Apprentice, by the way, for anyone who wasn't around for the start of this draft or forgot. I mean, that Ock pack was pretty loaded. It had a couple 4 Wood Ox, Lady Scrounger, it had Cowboy and Mother, which fell out of the draft. Oh, that is sad. I'm just realizing Cowboy and Mother fell out. Oh, what a shame.
I guess his logic was like there were so many good Ox, I want to get a card that allows me to play them because I know I'm getting another good one back, maybe.
Yep.
That makes a little sense.
Turambar getting the Fireplace, but he still might get snapped here if Catchy or Fofo fishes. But Catchy's going to use Freeloader here, and Fofo is going to take Wood. So the Gambit fails. KIMBALL's going to travel, and Turambar is going to win the first pile of sheep.
But what if Turambar gets greedy and waits to hit Animal?
I don't see any way. But
there's no way. He's too low on food, I guess.
Turambar can't afford to play Animal Husbandry Worker here. I mean, I guess Turambar could. Turambar absolutely could.
If like he takes the fish here, it's a disaster.
Right, it's a disaster to his own game for sure. I mean, Turambar has pretty good draft memory. Probably remembers Hunter in the game, so I would think that Turambar would be very hesitant to activate the Fish Apprentice. If he remembers, then he would definitely take the sheep here, but this turn is taking a while. He might be remembering and still willing to gamble. KLJ with, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, he took the fish! Uh-oh.
Oh, Mike, it has to be here. Oh. Workaholic's already played. Let's see Hunter. Hunter!
Turambar might get wrecked. Oh, there it is. He got him.
Yeah, baby. Oh, this is great.
Oh, that's savage.
Oh, yeah. I love this.
I thought I just convinced myself he was going to take the sheep and then set up for the next sheep grab to be with Husbandry Worker, maybe.
Oh, my gosh. Turambar getting wrecked by his own fishing move. Workaholic being delayed. To those of you who haven't played Workaholic much, the faster you start accumulating those resources, they really start coming in fast. So to delay the start of Workaholic activating, stage 3 easily, stage 2 possibly, if Turambar did have space for the sheep. But because Turambar went for Lady of the Manor instead of playing Animal Husbandry immediately, that is going to set Workaholic back, I think, stage 4 until that Clay and Stone come off.
Yeah. And Kimball will easily walk away from building first room in 4 to take the sheep, because FOFO right in front of him has room parts, and so you're fine being second anyway. Seems
Right.
like.
FOFO doing a good job picking up parts for a stable here to get that whistle going.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, FOFO probably doesn't even open with room here, but maybe. But you gotta imagine
Six clays on the board, and I mean,
yeah,
you need clay for your cookery at some point. FOFO. Oh, Catchy also has room parts now, but you're not blocking Catchy because Catchy's the freeloader. So
that's true.
So that is a little mysterious, but FOFO's probably not going to lose too much value.
There goes the lamb chops. This will be good. I'll be interested to see TURAMBAR kind of try to pivot here, because
I don't know what pivot there is. The pivot is to start crying. If it's,
I guess I like the 6 clay for. Well, maybe FOFO can't go back and build, and then Kimball jumps in or something.
But maybe. FOFO's going to get these 6 clay anyway if she wants them.
Oh, wow.
Catchy opting to freeload Reedstone Food. I am not a fan of freeloader being played this way. It keeps the board pretty nice for everyone else. So, and we had So in the 4. This could have easily been a good Outrider game.
Yeah.
It's not clear to me what Catchy's doing with all this stone. If this is to prepare early iron oven, that's a little odd in my opinion. But we'll see what Catchy has in mind. Catchy has not played Wood Collector yet.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, this is very different than I would play the hand. How I would play the hand. That does not make it bad, but it is different. Kimball starting with Brickyard is a pretty nice move here. You open up a possibility to get a big wood stack, whether that's 6 or 4, and you're guaranteeing the second build action.
And so at this point with that sheep grab, does that mean Kimball just ignores Old Miser? Like, you don't need the food advantage, right?
Or you could be playing Old Miser once you grow. And then...
Yeah, I guess his food isn't infinite, but yeah.
Right, it's only 2 food right now, whereas Hunter was obviously just a big pile. Well, we had some fireworks already. Now, I would actually already say, if we get round 7 growth, I'm ready to call it for Kimball here.
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. I guess ceiling-wise... Well, he'll get the Church Warden points, but FOFO has maybe the breeder and...
Well, that's what I'm saying about round 7. Like, not only will Head of the Family be a big part of the game, but also round 7 growth gives other people less time to hit ceiling.
Right, yeah.
And there's so much community ceiling to angle for already. Lady of the Manor, Animal Husbandry Worker, Scrounger, that you can get away with doing less. We do get growth in 5, though.
Yeah. So it's still wide open. So TURAMBAR's fencing, is that because of the shared wall? Somehow he's trying to angle for that and still hit Husbandry Worker?
Yes. So actually, that's a great call, Derek, to bring up shared wall here. TURAMBAR is going to end with 6 pastures.
Oh.
TURAMBAR is going to win Animal Husbandry for himself. And given that was his plan all along, I'm really curious as to why he waited to reveal Animal Husbandry Worker. I think waiting to reveal is just a non-factor.
Because he's going to steal it anyway, basically, you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, a little interesting here. Round 5 growth, again, I think saves the rest of the table, gives them a chance. Kimball taking forward instead of building. Mike is surprised by this. I'm also a little surprised at this.
I'm not. Kimball is the most patient. He doesn't care. I mean, he may go back and build 2 rooms here. He often does this. He'll walk away, especially with Head of the Family. Like, he just doesn't care, probably.
I mean, round 5 growth is a situation where you'd rather just not play Head of the Family at all, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what his... reason for grabbing the wood is, but he's off. I feel like the most patient. Like I try to let him jump me half the time, and he just never takes it. He's just like, I'll take the good action.
All right, so what does Catchy do here? Does Catchy build, or does Catchy take Reedstone food and go for a double build also?
That's a good question.
Catchy is going to build. Okay. Freeloader, again, not doing much here. Just to keep hammering that nail. Freeloader also likes late growth, and to make sure you get some Reedstone food early, you really hopefully have something to do with those resources.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just a very small point I want to ask about. How are takebacks handled in seasons? We have some very small takebacks happening already, like FOFO moving the stable around. Is there some kind of etiquette you've all kind of agreed on?
Yeah, we had to make a ruling halfway through the second season just to kind of clarify it. They are all for on voice, so they may be talking about some of the things and making sure it's good. But mostly, if everyone agrees and not too much time has passed, then or no new action spaces have been revealed, kind of thing, then it's fine. But it's up to the other players. I had to get pretty specific about kind of how it worked, but generally it's pretty loose.
Okay.
So I think the stable is fine, and I'm sure they probably are talking about it on voice.
Gotcha. Okay. Catchy building first means that FOFO had to grow first. FOFO playing vegetable harvest there. I'm sure she doesn't really mind. That was probably the minor that was coming out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't going to be Badger. Sorry, Badger fans.
I'm a Badger fan myself. I was kind of hoping we get to see that. It's so rare, it makes the team.
Yeah. KIMBALL does take 3 read here, so yeah, KIMBALL's going to double build and grow in 7. Not exactly sure why, but it does seem like head of the family won't be necessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not unless it's late for the other grow, I guess.
Yeah.
KIMBALL's setting up for this brickyard will get to 4, and he'll have Reno parts with the 5th read, and
right. Well,
maybe go for powder keg. I don't know where he's getting the stone though.
Powder keg's a good call because he has not been able to get Reedstone food, or hasn't prioritized it, we should say, and to get 3 stone back from Powder Keg later in the game does seem like a good thing to do. I would actually expect KIMBALL to really tick up that brickyard to like 7 or 8, honestly. I think KIMBALL's a player who really wants to get a ton of value out of brickyard.
Yeah, especially if Clay Worker doesn't make it.
Watch this. TURAMBAR not messing around.
Yeah, he grabs those sheep as soon as he can, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, TURAMBAR is in a tiny bit of a food hole. Catchy's not doing great on food either. FOFO picked up the Hearth second move last round, but that whistle isn't that amazing. KIMBALL's Fish Apprentice is going to continue to go off.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be savage.
Catchy has room parts again, but again, that grain is going to disappear into the iron oven, and he's going to need to take grain again. Just imagine if Catchy had played Outrider and built a little earlier. He could have grown with the grain from Outrider also in some worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, with Freeloader, you could definitely make that happen, probably.
So we'll see if these extra Reedstone foods that Catchy has been taken early end up paying off.
There's the double build from KIMBALL as we predicted.
Yep. Getting ready to grow next round. I would expect that Fisher Apprentice does hit this round. KIMBALL, I would expect, is going to play Old Miser, but could play Church Warden.
He really wants, he kind of wanted to get that diary down first, but I guess he just missed.
The only way to do that would have been to start with this action, but that lets Catchy build.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Catchy's growing. I missed that. I might have started diary there, actually.
Yeah, well, I guess he took 3 wood instead, I guess, so.
It's not that bad, yeah. Kimball gonna play Churchwarden instead of Old Miser here. Old Miser, I actually don't remember the fine detail of that if your newborn saves a food also. So I'm not sure if...
Yeah, they all pay 1 less, so
Oh,
newborns are
okay.
free.
So Kimball opting to take Churchwarden at 3 wood instead of saving 3 food immediately. I guess Kimball's not committing to Old Miser yet.
Yeah, holding off.
Wow. Oh, here's the Badger.
Oh, did it make it? Oh, yeah, there it is. All right. Here we go.
Oh, this game has been some real fun.
Oh, what is Fofo gonna do with this thing?
I am no expert on Badger.
Who knows?
Rilo saying in chat he irrationally loves the Badger minigame. Rilo, where would you start the Badger? Where would you be moving this around? I think you have to do it like put it in stage 2 right now. Oh, Fofo's starting it way out on 2 clay. I would be putting it near Veggie to set up Market Woman peon stuff, but...
Oh. Well, Badger can travel, he may make it over there.
Yeah, and ignore the fact that it looks like a horse, but it's a Badger.
Yeah. I guess Fofo's opening 6 clay. What's the deal with the clay? Why does she want so many clay?
To feed Derek.
There we go. Yep, there's the pottery.
Wait, hold on. Fofo not putting it on the 2 clay and putting it on major instead is what I'm assuming this is.
Yeah, probably asked for a change.
Yeah.
And then, okay, maybe it starts walking over to the veggie patch. I think badgers eat vegetables.
I would think so, yeah. Maybe more like trees or stuff like that. But yeah, I think starting it out here in the stage 1 space is very reasonable to get ready to get it over to the veggie area soon enough.
Does this fence go on? Maybe she doesn't even fence here, but it doesn't go around the stable, right? If you're
correct, you would not fence around the whistle stable. That whistle sheep is very important actually for Fofo's feeding.
Yeah. Well, it was until she started eating badger food. now everything's good. Kimball with a reedstone food.
Yeah, getting ready for another room later, perhaps. I actually don't really know what that reedstone food is for.
Yeah, I don't either.
How is Kimball's...
it's the stone for the powder keg.
You mean the...
Reno, I bet.
Possibly. But what does he need to renovate the stone early for? Besides powder keg. It's still a ways till round 11. When we have early growth games, you really have some extra time compared to normal to get some stuff done. If it were me, I wouldn't be super rushing into that renovation. Now we have some fun stuff going on here. Catchy has put those 2 points for the iron oven, but has also pre-claimed a 3-point bonus.
Oh, nice.
What 3-point bonus do you think that is? Churchwarden?
Oh, well, he has Scrounger on his board, but I don't know which one he's claiming.
It's probably the Churchwarden, because that was the most recently played. He's got Freeloader.
Yeah, he's got that. Okay, so Diary on this grow, Powder Keg on the second grow. I guess Kimball was just like, I need to get a reedstone food in at some point, and the board wasn't that loaded, although, yeah, and so 6 clay doesn't do anything for him.
6 clay doesn't count.
Plows, though, might be an issue.
Yeah, I think it was noted by someone in chat earlier. There's very little plow support in this draft. There is the field passing miner, which is currently in Catchy's hand. Catchy also has an early moldboard plow pick. So, in the terms of plows and crops, Catchy is doing the best.
I'm thinking that Country Doctor is just not going to be on the team.
And honestly, I hate that. Lady of the Man has already been played. Like, to not go into crops and take advantage of such a strong occupation like Country Doctor, yeah, I really don't like it. I mean, there are lots of ways to play Agricola, and there are lots of ways to play Agricola well. CATCHYSLIM is obviously quite a good player, and I definitely would not say that I'm correct and Catchy is wrong. but it is very different than what I would do here.
Yeah, country dog. Yeah, and landscape gardener just to walk away from those seems tough. But
Yeah. Fofo,
he
after
is going to
taking
jump
wood.
Kimball.
Yeah. Fofo is hitting the badger here.
There we go. On the move. Now, where does it go? Let's see. Back to sheep, maybe?
This is possibly sheep, but that just means Turambar takes it, right?
Yeah,
Gets it
Turambar's
to
gonna
5
grab
food.
him.
Well, Turambar's got 6 wood to take. How are you going to say no to 6 wood? You're not going to take... Well, the thing is, taking 2 sheep with a food gets that workaholic going, which is not only 5 wood now, but also accelerates the 4 clay 3 stone later. So if Fofo puts the... Well, I think putting the badger on 2 sheep is good then, because Turambar's going to either take the wood or the sheep. Catchy's going to grow, because Freeloader only helps with the first action, and Kimball's got an empty room. So Fofo's going to get either the 2 sheep or the 6 wood if she chooses that route. Fofo might have other ideas. Fofo could be looking for 3 stone and trying to get stone oven, because that vegetable harvest... well, never mind. Veggie harvest
I can't remember,
much better than a
does
hearth.
badger go orthogonally adjacent, or can it be any...
It needs to be orthogonally adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sheep just gets further from...
Wallfly in chat saying Fofo needed veg to flip there. The badger is hungry, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, and we do have it.
Turambar passed up the 6 wood. Oh, does Fofo get 6 wood here?
I think she might.
Grow?
I think she might.
Oh my goodness.
That's very good badger placement, actually.
Yeah, if badger gets you 6 wood, that's pretty savage.
Yeah.
Catchy kind of needs wood, though. Like, maybe he forgoes to grow.
You can't build a room and then not grow into it. Yeah.
That's true. Savage by Fofo, though.
Yep, and Fofo did play Hedgekeeper and now is getting 6 wood. So Fofo basically has parts for another room here. And it doesn't look like she has any miners that cost wood. Kimball picks up 3 stone here, potentially for some ceiling. We might see Reno well this round. And Powder Keg later.
Oh, true, yeah.
Kimball probably hoping that someone takes fishing for 3+1 next round so that old Miser can hit, I would guess.
Yeah, that food from the early sheep grab is starting to wind down.
Mike also with a good point that the boar flip is fine for Fofo because of the champion breeder in her hand. Yeah, good point, Mike. Thank you.
I mean, Fofo probably puts Badger back on fences and builds again next round, maybe.
Perhaps. I mean, I think it might just be better for Fofo to fence this round.
This round. Okay, yeah.
Catchy now playing Outrider. To be honest, this is a giant disappointment in terms of...
Oh my goodness.
The sadness for
Graey, though.
I mean, the sadness for efficiency lost is just gigantic.
Yeah, it's basically a greengrocer next round. He's getting veggie grain.
Oh, Derek, I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
Let's see. Oh, I was thinking something. What was it? I can't remember. I know what it was. It's sad that Fofo thinks she's winning Animal Husbandry Worker.
Yes. Well, maybe Turambar's arrangement will remind her of Shared Wall. We'll see what Fofo does with her fences. If she fences 15 normally, then, she's actually doing it right. And I think Fofo can probably remember that, because Shared Wall was one of her options in a very sketchy first pack of miners.
True.
The sketchier the pack is, it's almost easier to remember, your 3 not terrible options. And by the way, great call on that Brickyard for 4 Clay Reno. You were totally right. And
now it's going to tick up probably to however many clay again before he needs it.
That's true, too. There is time to re-tick up to 4. Yeah, that's a great call.
Kimball might pull the elusive never take clay game.
That would be great.
Mike in chat does not approve, but...
Fofo stealing the 2 boar by taking start player here. Good move. Fences and food would be a nice sequence for Fofo, but still wouldn't have time to take champion breeder, play champion breeder.
Yeah. So I guess the first workaholic dump came in, and that gave TURAMBAR the first room parts. Is that right?
Parts for his first room, yeah. And it is powder keg for KIMBALL. Yeah. KIMBALL just needs to figure out fields and crops. KIMBALL's got some fun stuff actually at the back end of his hand. Yeoman Farmer and Horse is like the miniest mini combo out there, but it's pretty cool. He could also probably like do veg only and ignore grain and be okay, just because veg multiply easier in a couple fields.
Yeah. I wonder if Almanac even does anything for him.
Seems doubtful to me.
I guess he just prioritizes wood, gets his fences, hard plows. Like he was probably plowing next action maybe, or 4 wood if it's there, I guess.
Yeah, hard to say. He really just wants that fishing to hit. Let's see what else happened. Catchy took another reedstone food after taking some clay last round. Catchy's wood does not look good. We've had quite a bit of wood injection, but those fences are going to come in pretty late.
Mm-hmm. I guess Catchy's second or third action will be the veg outrider plan, probably.
Yeah, but KIMBALL could snipe it here. I'm really not sure that reedstone food was a necessary move. I don't think anyone's really contesting it. I feel like veg grain might have been the better move, just because KIMBALL could.
So Catchy needs some food as part of
KIMBALL was growing. KIMBALL was growing. Or did that already happen?
He already grew.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he would plow or 4 wood over the veg, but Catchy needs food. Maybe he's using that stone to angle for some additional food or something.
Yeah. All right. Fofo is actually going to fence out tight, and that's going to force Shared Wall to really do work here.
Yep. Oh, and another badger food. Look at that. She did wait to move the badger over.
Yep. We're also on pace to get a very interesting farm arrangement from Fofo here. Whistle and Horse Barn doing a couple tricks.
Yeah, that is interesting. Badger is 2 food, 6 wood so far for 1 brick. for those counting at home.
I love how you just like casually added the 6 wood.
Well, it kind of made it happen.
It turned 2 sheep into 6 wood. That's the Catchy faking out a Renaissance man, if you're asking me.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the market woman.
Peon also gonna show up shortly, I'd have to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if Fofo wants another room, it would be in the bottom left corner of her empties, and then she could have a second field adjacent to that Whistle stable for horse barn purposes and still get 5.
Yeah.
But
that would be an interesting configuration.
To be honest, I don't know when Fofo would have time to build another room or what she would build it out of.
Right. Yeah, would have to get a massive clay grab or something like that.
And a big reed grab too.
That's true.
Yeah, the more I say it, the less likely it seems.
So KIMBALL did take the 4 wood, but interestingly, TURAMBAR has correctly assessed that plows are going to be tough this game, and he started snatching those up.
Yep.
KIMBALL with day labor here, but I guess because no one went fishing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Wait, so how's Fofo feeding? Is Fofo going to be eating a boar?
Eats sheep, gets sheep back. Yeah, maybe just crunches both of those boar.
That would be sad.
If the boar can't breed.
Yeah, Catchy gets to open 6 wood here. That's a relief for him. Catchy built stone oven and moldboard plow last round, I think. Mike, you can't eat the whistle sheep. The whistle sheep comes in at the start of breeding, I believe.
Oh, we should look at that because that is a pair. She's got.
I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm just wrong. But yeah, whistle's at the beginning of the breeding.
Did are they? Let's see if they announced in chat. I don't. Maybe they're not because they're in
Is this
voice.
something we should stop the game for? Oh yeah, she did announce HHC. Do we stop the game for this kind of mistake, or do we just let it go? It's up to you. You are the commander of seasons.
Yeah, I'm typing something in their chat where they can see it.
Yeah, you can also jump out of this really quick and. Catchy's going to trigger Fish Apprentice in the meantime.
So that's after breeding?
Whistle Sheep comes in at the start of breeding. So unless you have early riser, you can't eat, because that feeding comes in before breeding. Turambar has taken 2 sheep and gets the 4 clay off of Workaholic. FOFO did first action plow.
Yeah, they're all starting to recognize the plow pressure. Well, I posted it. We'll see if they see it. If they don't catch it and it goes, I guess that's fine. I'm not going to press it too much, but.
All right. Well, that's the cool thing. Like this goes exactly how you want it to. So. It might be worth taking a beggar to let those boar breed. Fofo's food situation is really unsettled.
Yeah, it'd be so nice. If I jump in their voice chat,
it looks like they fixed it. Fofo
they
did not breed boar.
Yeah, they got it. Okay, good deal. Okay, so that does mean she has the sheep, but yeah, that means, yeah, she's a bit in a food pickle, kind of.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
But I think Market Woman is gonna.
But that's I think a bit too much policing. All right, so yeah, the Peon Market Woman combo comes in, as you say. Champion Breeder looks pretty delayed here, with Workaholic getting in the way. So KIMBALL didn't play Old Miser, is just not going to play Old Miser. I believe Yeoman does not combo with Old Miser. I think Old Miser says they're all worth 2 instead of 3, and that's not a negative point.
Right. Yeah, I think I have run into that before, so.
Yeah, so that would have been a cool combo if it worked, but it looks like KIMBALL's just going to do regular things. Turambar is breaking out the shared wall. We are getting shared wall here.
What that means, though, is that KIMBALL's also hungry.
Yes, it does mean that. So the hunter is pretty, like, tamed here. I think I'm using a bad metaphor. But the hunter's not very effective.
On the hunt, basically. Yeah, he's hunting is what he is doing.
Yeah, it looks like Bathmaker's Workshop might be what's being set up here.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that looks like it with the Reno right next action, maybe. Mm-hmm. Or I guess late action, no one can Reno.
Yeah, there's still some food left to be desired out there. So, I mean, everyone with a bit of an underwhelming game here, honestly. It has not been necessarily a clean, strong game by anyone, in my opinion. Maybe KIMBALL has other ideas of how he's feeding, but it doesn't seem to me like anyone's doing great. I honestly think Turambar might have made the fewest mistakes so far.
Yeah, and he couldn't have known that the fishing was going to get his sheep swept.
I mean, you can sometimes remember Hunter, but I agree it's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to call it. Now, I would say if Sid were here, he would have called GG back in round 5, but who knows for who. But to me, it seems pretty wide open.
It does seem pretty wide open here. Catchy, it's fun to note, has already set himself up to remember Scrounger and win Scrounger. Catchy has a lot of work to do on this farm. I don't think he's getting a plow action to open next round. I think Kimball probably started for plow. Um, Fofo has done a peon move here. I would have put the grain as the extra resource, but
Maybe it's food purposes, you know? She's so
well,
hungry.
the point of putting grain for the extra resource is so that the veg field would actually clear by stage 6.
Oh, and you can resow. I
Yeah,
got you.
for another peon. So
So what's the animal count for the 3 stones from Workaholic?
it is 9.
9, okay.
So Turambar with. So if my expectation is that Kimball renovates here and then opens plow next round, and then Turambar would take 2 boar.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't think Turambar needs the 3 stone now as much as he would like to eat the sheep and not worry about Workaholic the rest of the game.
Yeah. Here's the Reno basket maker we talked about. So that'll help with Kimball's food problems, although they're not solved by any means.
Right, they're halfway solved, and halfway, as we all know from playing Agricola, half of a feeding plan does not equal a feeding plan.
Right. Yeah.
Half of a feeding plan equals a lot of pain at the end of each stage.
Yeah, I guess so. Turambar's out on Church Warden points, it seems.
Yeah,
I guess unless
though again with all the other communal scoring bonuses, there's less pressure on making sure you hit Church Warden.
That's true. Yeah. Trying to look at what else Turambar has in his game. I mean, the plum patch will make it at some point.
Will it? How is he getting crops?
I mean, I guess he just hard takes them, but
he just made it to 3 actions and it's round 11. He grew super ultra mega late in an early growth game.
Yeah, and he doesn't have fence. I mean, so all he needs is 1 more fence action. And some,
and then,
yeah, you're right. Kimball did
a lot of fields and some crops.
Yeah, he's not looking great. It might be a low scoring game here.
Yeah. Catchy only has 2 rounds left to hit Moldboard Plow, and again, Moldboard Plow. Oh, Freeloader. Freeloader coming in on Plow 1 field.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. That's a sign of something.
That's the best thing Freeloader's done all game.
That's so true. Oh, man. Let's see what else is going on. Fofo could maybe start here. Does she have a good starting? Oh, Winter Pond. This looks like start Winter Pond is probably good for Fofo. Either the round 12 spaces are great for her, and Winter Pond coming out now is barely on time.
Yep, to get all 3 food, yeah. Trying to think which one she wants. I guess with the Church Warden in the game, she definitely wants Grow, but
she'd have to hit Grow twice. I would almost rather just do Plowso and let the game tell me to ignore it. This Champion Breeder is also going to only hit for the last 2 stages, so that looks like a 3 or 4 point Champion Breeder. 4 is a bit of a stretch. It's probably 3.
Yeah, no, it could. No. There's no way. Yeah, last 2 stages, you're right. Because she could take 1 boar next round.
Yeah, she might. Where the 2 cows go will also be a little interesting. Like, Kimball could easily hunt 1 cow and keep 1 next round.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the hunter's on the loose right now. Kimball does not have all food sorted for sure.
That's a second move traveling players instead of, 3 wood.
Right.
Turambar taking Reed here. I guess that's for renovations. Turambar sitting on 6 stone, but already in terms of majors costing stone, we're down to clay oven and joinery.
Yeah.
And none of those miners in his hands say stone.
That's true. Yeah.
Kimball hitting the alchemist lab. Looks like joinery. What else does Kimball need 2 stone for?
Yeah.
Surely he's not planning to play Syrup Tap in Almanac. so it has to be joinery. But Turambar snaps it here on Reno.
Pop. Dang. Who is going to get the Badger? Yeah. That's why I think FOFO might take one boar next round. Boar plus Badger. Living in the same field, you know.
Catchy throwing down this Landscape Gardener. It finally made the team. Wild Greens also.
Yeah, Wild Greens goes. He had everything but crop support, and Outrider had to do some work to be crop support, and it just seems like it didn't do a lot. But Catchy's game doesn't look bad compared to where everyone else is.
Catchy just took cow grain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think Catchy decided to play Freeloader over Outrider to make sure he had enough stone for Iron Oven. And I'm just really not a huge fan of that. Because sometimes you can just get Clay Oven early with only like one early stone grab. Freeloader does have these kinds of games where it doesn't do that much in the early game. So that, yeah, I'm going to continue to be sad about that Freeloader over Outrider play early.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, just like the Stone House Builder that copied, it just makes the board better for everyone else when you have to do that.
Yeah, I think we're in the same school of thought there. All right, so we're into the end game here. I don't know who to call this for.
Yeah.
Like
Catchy's farm doesn't look bad, really.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, Catchy needs some more wood and has to be aggressive on animals, but does have Churchwarden locked down. I'm going to refresh the game here and see if we can figure out what... We have Plowsow. Ooh, it's Plowsow, Derek. It's not Grow.
Okay. I mean, FOFO snaps it, yeah.
I mean, she has to.
So here's a question. Now, it's very rare when KIMBALL doesn't fence 12 tight. Very rare. Like, I would say once in every 200 games or so. But he has no plow support, and he's not going to cover that many spaces. So,
that's a yeoman farmer, not a hide farmer.
Is this the game?
I think he probably takes 3 wood to fence 15 at some point.
Yeah.
But he's going to start with horse first, okay?
Yeah, Maruskak asking exactly. That's what we're trying to figure out. It doesn't seem like it's... We need Sid. Sid would just tell us who's winning. He would have already told us back in round 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think KIMBALL had this if he played Old Miser. I'm still a little confused why he went for the Churchwarden play over Old Miser in stage 2. I mean, I think we're all seeing how much that tempo from Old Miser would be great. 5 points is a lot, but how many actions has KIMBALL taken just to, like, feed? It's probably 5 or more points worth of actions.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have to pay someone when you use their Alchemist Lab? I go to that card so infrequently. You do.
It's
okay, so even that. Wow.
Turambar takes wood. What does Turambar need wood for? I guess joinery? Oh.
He does need one more fence action, but...
CATCHYSLIM with Freeloader is opting to Plowsow here instead of Moldboard Plow. A little interesting, but not that interesting. Plowsow is very strong.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And he's going to play Country Doctor.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I mean...
That's going to hit Churchwarden, yeah.
This is not how I would have expected it. So he's going to freeload Plow next round and be done with that, I assume. KIMBALL does get up to 15 wood here. Is this fence time for Turambar? I would think it is.
Just lock it in, yeah.
FOFO probably going to take this boar with the food. That badger is hanging out.
Boar and the badger, best friends. Timon and Pumbaa, basically. Boom, snapped it. That's 6 wood and 3 food for those counting. On the badger.
Oh my gosh.
And KIMBALL does fence. Let's see. I bet it's not 12 tight. Every now and then you go, whoa, that's not what okay, so much for plows.
Not a bad move.
I was expecting the
So
surprise sheep fencing.
what this does is that means he's done taking wood for Scrounger. On the other hand, like he has a Ock coming in for a food whenever he wants it, but also what Ock is he gonna? Well, I should take that back. Fishing is not guaranteed to hit in the rest of this game.
Did everyone get food sorted enough that, yeah.
Yeah. Was that?
So that means he's opening with Grow next round.
Yes.
Is what that means.
Yes, it does. So KIMBALL hunts one sheep and keeps one. Seems reasonable based on his food situation. He's going to need 19 food to finish this game. KIMBALL does seem to have guaranteed a solid floor here. I mean, I think KIMBALL's floor is going to be high 40s with all those, well, not all those, but Churchward and Scrounger. He gave up on Lady of the Manor early. I think that's correct.
In this game, that might be enough, 45, but Catchy seems like he has potential for more than that.
Catchy, I think, has the highest ceiling here. Yeah. Rilo pointing out KIMBALL had an astronomy round last round. Close. Astronomer also has that really awkward clause where the action spaces have to all be the same dimensions. Yeah. TURAMBAR taking Plowso here over 2 cows, given that he hasn't fenced yet, and Mike is saying what I would agree with. 2 cows to FOFO 4th move is really nice indeed. And because FOFO took the time to take Boar last round, she's going to get a 4-point champion breeder. FOFO is kind of back in it here.
Yeah, that's pretty savage. What's the lady? Like, who's winning lady here?
I think it's Catchy, but I really don't know for sure. Because Catchy has fields and crops nailed down, right? So if Catchy can get up to 4 pastures, like who's going to beat 4 categories here?
That's true. Yeah. TURAMBAR, can he get there? Maybe, probably not.
FOFO does now have 4 fields, so FOFO probably also has good shots on Lady now that
4 category. Yeah.
All right. The Badger has moved down to Veggie World.
Market woman. We knew the Badger was going to make it to the vegetable patch. Carrot, they like carrots too much.
Yeah, but I don't actually know if this is around FOFO wants to be grabbing veg. Like, with Peon...
Oh, savage. Check this clay oven out by KIMBALL. Pull four brick off the brickyard. Have exactly 1 left for Scrounger, exactly 1 stone left for Scrounger.
This is tidy. This is very tidy.
Yeah, very clean game. Yeah.
Now, well, the question is, what is KIMBALL going to do with his last 7 actions?
Yeah, get food, get animals, get crops. I mean, there's not much else.
Clay, reed, 1 animal, crop. That's 5. And then food. Yeah, that's probably the rest of his game.
And I don't know that that's going to be enough, actually.
I mean, we'll check. Let's see. KIMBALL is currently showing 32. With Scrounger and Churchwarden, that's 38. We say crop, 2nd animal type, that's 44. And then clay, reed is 5 more, so 49.
49's
pretty much what we were talking about.
Yeah. TURAMBAR did get the plum patch down. Look at that.
Yeah.
How did he get those crops? Just took them?
I think he just took them. I mean, he didn't fence. He took veg 2nd action last round, if I remember correctly.
Now, this could get tricky. No, I guess I couldn't.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out if...
Great point from Mike. The yeoman farmer means that these 2-point moves, like animal crop, are not 2 points. They're just 1 point. So, yeah. What else can KIMBALL do, though, is the thing.
Also. Maybe he realized that way. He went for the clay oven for nothing, just for 2 points.
Yeah. KIMBALL taking a boar, knocking things off of his to-do list.
He'll take a big reed grab in 14, or a 3 reed grab in 14, I guess.
Yeah, I already thought he was going to do that, though. Like, maybe it's like 2 veg and so. Like, maximizing a category is way better than
True.
dinks and dunks when you have yeoman.
Yeah.
TURAMBAR playing
trying to
Chief's
put some
Daughter.
ceiling. Yeah. Is there a weird way if Catchy doesn't fence here that he can get? I guess he's set up to Reno fence, but then he won't have animals.
So 2 players are already completely fenced here. So
he's never getting blocked.
I don't think
there's the champion breeder. Okay, there's FOFO's ceiling.
Yep. And she has enough to eat now for her small family.
And look, that horse barn doing some work on FOFO's farm.
Yeah, I really wish that that top field would be cleared right now.
Mm-hmm.
FOFO not utilizing that badger on the veg field.
Oh, too bad.
Sad times indeed. TURAMBAR opening round 14 here is probably just a plow-so because Catchy has to first action plow too. Wow, I can't believe we're already in round 14, Derek.
Yeah, it's blown by. They've been going pretty quick.
I mean, this stream has been going an hour and a half, but 5 minutes of that was the opening wait, and like 15 of it was us talking.
Yeah.
So this game's only been going like an hour 10 right now, and that's also with waiting during the draft for us to get FOFO's pictures. Yeah, this has been extremely fast.
You think Catchy just fences here instead of waits to Reno fence just to get have a chance at getting some animal points?
An extra sheep?
Maybe.
There's just not much value.
It doesn't do much.
Catchy is also set up for Scrounger here. Very nice resource management by Catchy, I have to say. I would have probably fenced 13 if you're going to fence 14. Just gives you better outs for stables later. You're not going to need that capacity, right?
Fence 13 like
2 small ones and a big box.
Behind here. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right, so TURAMBAR goes plow-so because FOFO could, I think. TURAMBAR could run offense. But being fence blocked seems incredibly unlikely, so... And Catchy is probably going to double plow, so I think plow-so is the right move for TURAMBAR here, and indeed that's what happens.
FOFO doesn't have a way to Reno without read, right? There's no.
It does not look like it.
Okay.
That's true, Dakar.
Food away.
Dakar is correct here that the Catchy's fence won't help for Lady of the Manor. Well, Derek, also, Reedstone Food. FOFO doesn't actually need to Reno to get 3 points from taking Reedstone Food.
Exactly, yeah. But it might... Does it threaten make TURAMBAR Reno next?
Unlikely.
I guess not.
I mean...
Not really.
Who would just throw away an action? Catchy does take that mandatory plow. FOFO, what did she do here? Grow?
Catchy's looking to find a sow action here because his grain is not.
Yes, he
maxed.
Really wants a sow. He has
actually
3
he
spaces.
can't max grain.
He has 3 things to sow on because he has 1 landscape space.
Right. Yeah. He really wants that.
KIMBALL can take either clay spot. Oh yeah, Quiet Unknown. Love it.
I was gonna see how many seconds it took KIMBALL to quiet the unknown.
It's one of my favorite moves, also.
Big wood grab. Okay, so yeah, KIMBALL's just kind of can do whatever here. He doesn't have any major things left to check off.
3 stables seems decent.
Oh yeah, he didn't end up with a joinery, did he? I forgot about that.
I mean,
TURAMBAR took it.
Though on the other hand, 2 moves for 3 points is barely better than that dinking and dunking. Mike saying Catchy should still take it. Well, we're seeing KIMBALL have about 50 here. Catchy has a Reno coming in. Does get that sow action. That sow action's pretty big, I think.
That's huge, yeah.
So let's take a peek at Catchy's farm. He's got 8 bonus and 4 more Renos coming in. That already puts him at 51. So 2 more actions on top. Yeah, looks like CATCHYSLIM is going
As
to win
much as we
this.
made fun of that freeloader, the rookie of the season comes in here, looks like anyway, and makes it to the final.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, well, let's give credit where it's due. Even though some things were played in an order that I consider to be inefficient, he made it work. There's nothing wrong with how his final farm's going to look.
Yeah, and TURAMBAR really, from that first big sheep grab, missing out on that was just really set him back.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that KIMBALL has put 3 more triangles on his farm, I'm tempted to check again here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might be right there.
Though KIMBALL's food is so sad.
Yeah, and eating a reed chomps the, a basket maker point too.
Yeah, and
but he's got so many actions left, and all he really needs is to sort food, it seems.
Yeah, only one of them is clay, and 2 of them are food. Yeah, let's see. FOFO's showing 38. I don't think she's in the running here. Yeah, KIMBALL's showing 36, plus 12 triangles, so 48. And then a 3-point clay move. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, looks like Catchy's got this. FOFO's got 1 action left in the game, so it's pretty surely going to be Reedstone food.
Mm-hmm.
Catchy having a long turn here, probably just evaluating what he can do to get in KIMBALL's way. The answer's probably nothing.
Yeah, it seems like KIMBALL can just be okay with whatever here. I love the 8 clay brickyard. Never took clay the whole game.
Yep, that's always a fun thing to achieve.
TURAMBAR finishing at 45, it looks like.
Yeah, not probably not his best game ever, but
yeah, he got hunted this game.
Yeah,
we said it could happen from the draft, and it did set up exactly.
Being hunted is such a pain. Like, I've only managed to do it once on play-agricola, but I remember that game really well.
Oh, you
No,
had the same situation?
I pulled it off against someone else.
Oh yeah.
It's so rare, especially to happen like this, where the person who gets wrecked is the one who basically played hunter.
Mm-hmm. So there's another point for Catchy, yeah.
Yeah, with the Renault straw. Who knew that freeloader for moldboard plow would be would be the centerpiece of Catchy's strategy?
The freeloader started off slow, but he got to work for sure.
Yeah.
And KIMBALL, did he get food sorted? Does he hit Alchemist Lab here so that he can eat the reed and then...
It would be worth a point. He is at 8 food. I mean, I think he just needs 2 more food.
Yeah. I guess if he is traveling players, he just...
Traveling day labor or hunt 1 sheep.
Yeah.
Catchy taking the sheep with nothing else to do. And KIMBALL does, looks like, travel. All right. So that'll be the end of the game. We're expecting Catchy as like 53 and KIMBALL 50-ish.
Yeah, and FOFO hasn't announced, but we counted less than that, right?
Yeah, lots of triangles, but...
And a cool-looking farm, really.
Well, let's see. 37 plus 13. I guess also 50. That champion breeder coming in.
47, 48. Yeah, 50 is yeah.
But I do think that Catchy's going to take this.
Yeah, I don't see a way KIMBALL gets more than 51, I think. Oh, 50. Okay. 54 for Catchy. Yeah, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. Wow.
Whoa, FOFO announcing 53. Wow. Okay. So I have to apologize to everyone. That is a lot higher than I expected.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where we missed. I guess it was due to the badger, probably.
Yeah, and don't look now, but TURAMBAR took an extra joinery point to get up to 45, and that let FOFO tie for animal husbandry worker.
Really? Oh yeah, 5 pastures. Yep. That was 2 points we weren't counting. Yeah. Huh. Should we? They're all in the voice channel. Do we want to try to talk to them somehow?
Let's ask them if they are all okay with us jumping in, because we don't want to just like catch one of them cussing everyone else out. Not saying any of them would be doing that.
Yeah, let's see. It looks like they said it's fine. So let's see. Should we?
They all did.
Yeah. TURAMBAR said I guess he speaks for the.
I guess before we do that for sure, let's talk with chat a little here. Mike saying he realized FOFO is close, and she wins without that whistle error. Yeah, if she plans out that stage where she had to eat that boar instead of breed it, that's rough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that could have been another champion breeder.
But I do think FOFO got some really good breaks at some points, where she gets to keep 2 animal husbandry points. She got those 2 cows 4th move in stage 5.
Yeah, that was savage. That was like exactly what she needed there.
Yeah, so that does make up for a lot. But yeah, again, Catchy just doing enough strong things, ending up with an extremely high floor farm, getting that point ceiling from the community cards. Still enough to win in round 5 growth.
Going back to build a second wood room to jump KIMBALL there, put KIMBALL back a little bit, I think was maybe important right there, because you think when you double build, you kind of want to get both grows unopposed, and never did play the head of the family, so kind of got jammed up a little.
So I mean, I think I have questions for 3 of these players, but I'm not actually sure. Like FOFO's game seemed pretty straightforward. I'm not actually sure there's too much to ask about. I guess we could ask how she feels about champion breeder running into the workaholic early.
Yeah, we could just kind of ask whatever. They probably have a lot to say about it.
Yep. All right, you ready to jump in?
There?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Iron Oven was really good.
All right, everyone.
I took that single grain in the first round because I'm like, it's either day labor or single grain. It's like a 6 food action later versus knowing I get Reedstone food every round. I knew I could play it early, so I'm like,
Roomie's here.
Yeah, hey folks. Yeah, we're here. How are y'all doing? Congrats, Catchy.
Hey, thanks. Doing well.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for giving us a very entertaining and quick game.
Oh, it was quick. Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. So, which thing was more exciting in the game? This is my first question. Was it KIMBALL getting that free hunter to sweep the sheep from TURAMBAR, or the fact that FOFO even played Badger and did some good stuff with it?
I was excited to see Badger, but I never used it once.
I mean, I can tell you my thinking process of picking it in the first place. I took Badger because I thought it would be good with resource dealer.
Right.
That I can use the clay off.
Oh, interesting.
Then I can, take that clay off, and then if I have that occupation in play, I can use that, and then next round I get an extra food. But I had my resources already, like building part, so I didn't even bother playing resource dealer. In the mid game, I still thought about it. I thought like play it and then for cooking hearse or something, but I ended up with big clay grab, so I didn't even bother with resource dealer. But I thought it's funny to play Badger.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, it is. I was keeping track. I think I counted. You got 3 food and 6 wood off the Badger. because you put it on sheep, which made Turambar have to take the sheep, so you got the 6 wood in that one round. I give Badger credit for that.
To be fair, I thought I was getting the sheep.
Oh, yeah.
I did not manipulate it like that. But 6 wood is fine, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I give it the credit anyway.
So
there was definitely a lot of discussion about that hunter play, and Turambar knew it was a possibility for a long time.
Yeah. I sat there in round 3 when I take the move, and I'm thinking there's no really good moves here, so I could just take the 3 sheep to be safe and have like a medium game. But if I take the fishing, I know I next round can animal husbandry into 4 sheep and breed them and get 5 wood round 5. Which is like extremely good. So it's like, and I knew Hunter was in the draft. So it's like, if Kimball has Hunter, I lose. If not, I just win the game. Like I thought that, I take it, and he has Hunter. So yeah. That is like I was pretty annoyed throughout the game after that. But like,
you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, I thought it was a fair bet, and like after calming down a bit, I still think I kind of like my move. Like it's a good chance he doesn't have Hunter.
I think I agree. Like if you are very conscious of the situation as you were, like I think it's not a bad point at all to take a gamble and say I have a 60% chance to win this game and a 40% chance to get 4th, and I'm just gonna do it. Like I think I'm totally on board with that reasoning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just win if he doesn't have Hunter there.
I think I agree. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a really strong hand. Yeah.
So going back to an earlier point I wanted to make a segue about, Resource Dealer Badger would have been the best mini combo of the game, but instead that goes to Yeoman Farmer Horse.
Yeah.
You know it.
And on the topic of Kimball's Ox, there was a thinking moment that I noticed where Kimball, you took about maybe half a minute deciding between Churchwarden on Fisherman's Apprentice, and I think the other option you were going to go for was Old Miser.
They would also had a family was also an option at that point, given the kind of spread. So it was interesting that like with Old Miser, which was a great with like a big house, big family hand. It was a little tricky though because my ceiling is gonna be messed up because I have Yeoman Farmer and Horse, and like I'm not planning to do a bunch of crops. So like Old Miser is not exactly perfect with this hand, which was a thing that was tricky in the draft. Like I kind of had already decided I was probably not ever gonna get Lady of the Manor, so I wasn't gonna go for that stuff. And so I was really reluctant to play Old Miser. But definitely I thought about it. There are points in the game where I got really food tight, and I was like, well, I could play this, but it was just straight -5 points. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think I could recover from the -5 points.
Even though it would have given you like 3 actions of feeding back.
Yeah, it would have given me 3 actions of feeding. And I basically, my entire game plan was that I needed to get the factories. And I only got Basket Maker Workshop, and then I don't know if
and Turambar snatched Joinery pretty late. I think you were angling for it.
I know. He saw I was angling for that, I'm sure.
I was also just looking for something to use my stone from Workaholic on, and I got stone from plowing, and I didn't have anything to use it for.
Right.
I think maybe building well when I did was a mistake, and I should have just held on to the stone for Basket Makers and Joinery then.
That would have been some pretty far ahead looking. I mean,
in a Scrounger game, the factories are better. But anyway, yeah, it was so it was tricky. I did, I kind of wanted to play Old Miser, but I kind of knew that it would just it felt like it would put me in an unwinning position. Even with the extractions. It's tricky.
Yeah. Another thing on Scrounger is like I take 3 reed in like 11 just because I know it's like double Reno and Scrounger reed, so Kimball doesn't have like a big Reno reed in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that made sense.
We should ask Ketchy I made so much fun of your freeloader. I was like, you should have played Outrider in 1 and got your crop support for Country Doctor. And you just kept doing freeloader. And then at some point I was like, the best thing freeloader's done all game is copy plow when it got tight in the mid game. But it just worked out.
Yeah. No, I kind of, I think maybe building a 4th one was unnecessary with Country Doctor, but I don't know. I just got to grow so easily. Kimball gifted me second growth, and then
yeah, that was
I
a
was
good
able
thing
to get it
Freeloader
again.
did. Freeloader confused me about how it worked, and so I gifted him second growth.
Yeah, and I knew I needed the stone for the iron oven because I had terrible feeding, and not a lot of good grain support.
Oh,
so
when you go ahead, Lou, you're going to say the same thing I did, I think.
Well, probably not. But so you thought that clay oven was unlikely to be available? Is that why you?
No, I just didn't care. I didn't want to take a clay grab early. I wanted to build rooms with wood. I wanted to build 2 wood rooms, and not have to waste a clay grab.
So you did kind of tunnel into that iron oven on grow plan.
100%, yeah. Especially knowing I was going to get reedstone food as much as I wanted.
All right.
Interesting. Okay, I thought I was giving you credit, Kimball. When you took 4 wood there after grow flipped in 5, I was like, oh, he's so patient here. He's just waiting. But you're saying you forgot.
So it was a little both. I think, definitely I was confused. I was thinking rogue instead of freeloader. And I don't know why I was thinking that. And so I was like, I'll just double, I'll double build and I'll get my grows in 6 and 7. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh. I want my double build anyway. I mean, I was looking down at Head of Family and thinking, like, it's fine. I still do want double build no matter what. But I definitely, did not quite think through everything and got confused about that. So, yeah, gifting Catchy was not... I gifted Catchy something that I thought he already had. And
and if my game wasn't already dead, that was the final nail in the coffin. I was really banking on, when I fenced 9, I was banking on Kimball building first round 5 and me taking forward, so I was on the 5 and could build after all of the people grew with freeloader and stuff. But then I have to struggle a lot.
By me not building there, I got 4 wood wheeled 3 reed, which was really strong, I felt. So I was like, oh, this is still okay, even though I kind of confused things.
Mm-hmm. That was our thought too. It still looked okay for you.
Yeah, but I definitely have to admit that I messed up there.
And let's see, we also thought it didn't end up happening, but we kind of got excited over the shared wall still in the animal husbandry worker. We thought it was anyway, but you must have just been a wood short.
No, TURAMBAR decided to get a joinery point at the end.
Yeah, I thought I get 1 point, FOFO gets 2. I'm not winning. I'll just maximize my score. I didn't know who was winning. Maybe it's good that FOFO didn't win 1 by 1 point, but yeah, I didn't count.
Right. So TURAMBAR, that's your first non-win this season in the 4th seat.
yeah, I heard that. That was pretty funny.
We talked about that.
But it's funny.
Well, I'm glad you all made this scheduling of this game pretty easy because I know we had some struggles. But thanks for being available and making it. It was a super exciting game to cast. We couldn't pick the winner the whole time, and then we kept being like, "Is Catchy winning this thing? Is Catchy winning this?" And then it's just like, "Oh yeah, he is."
Yep.
It was a close. FOFO had a lot going on. I had a tough time deciding between Country Doctor and Market Woman. And obviously, you want both those together, but yeah, it was a tough
right.
Yeah, I misplayed stage 2 by misreading Whistle, and my champion breeder got delayed 2 stages, so that was bad.
Yeah, we saw that. We said if you didn't have to eat those boar there, your game would have been. I guess you would have actually won by a point. That's the way it would have worked.
Yeah, FOFO would have won.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, ready comprehension gets me.
So you were in such a good position, and that's still with TURAMBAR playing Workaholic and Animal Husbandry across the table from you when you're trying to run Champion Breeder. Was that how did that factor into your game plan here?
Yeah, so during the draft, I had a chance to take Hunter, and then I was like, I'm okay if somebody else wants to hunt the early sheep, and then I can set up the animals mid-game. When I saw Animal Husbandry Worker, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't take the T-Clay where I had the chance to. And but the animal fight mid-game is just too much. I had to start to get the 2 boar and gifting Kimball a free family growth action.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew Kimball would start if I didn't. and then Turamba might have taken the 2 boar. It's just I have to do a lot to get it going, and it's not enough.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I benefited from all 3 of them wanting animals, and I didn't. That was also kind of nice.
Yep.
True.
Oh, yeah, I do think that's like a meta reason why Catchy winning here is like we 3 fighting over the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And doing the crops instead or by baking instead, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, sometimes you want to zig when everyone's zagging.
Yeah, for sure.
Any last comments from any of the players here? Or maybe Derek, you have a final question?
No, I think we covered most of the stuff we talked about. Let's see. I did think I was curious to ask KIMBALL about the first pick Fisherman's Apprentice, because I feel like that was a pretty bold move. That pack was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
That was a weird pack. So well, you know me, I like to play more Ox, right? And so that card says play more Ox. And if you know you're going to wheel something decent, and also like, I don't know, that pack was strong, but it wasn't like, there was nothing that's over the top, right? It was like 6 strong occupations, right? 2 forward occupations in Lady and Scrounger.
Cow Mom
and then it had,
for the Lady.
Yeah, Cowboy Mother. So I mean, I could have like first picked Cowboy Mother and just one Lady and Lady of the Manor, but I don't know. There was nothing there that was like so over the top. So I figured I'd just take Fisherman's Apprentice and be able to wheel a decent Ock, something that's good, and then play some other Ock.
Maybe I should have run a Cowboy and Mom game.
I thought someone was gonna.
The Champion Breeder is so good.
When the pack got to me, I already had Market Woman. I took Peon because I thought that's good. I also could take Lady of the Manor, but I thought it's fine. Somebody else can play it. I still win it.
Yep.
So I took Peon. I don't want the veggie fight.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. So like, I was also trying to figure out like, yeah, if you go for some sort of combo, what do you do? Maybe you go Lady of the Manor, try to wheel Cow Mom wheel Lady of the Manor. I don't know. Like it was just
so you went for safety and consistency over.
Yeah, basically. Like there was nothing that's such a strong combo that I felt it was like amazing, and I just figured, I'll get to play some Ox here.
Yeah.
I feel like Fisherman's Apprentice is like saves 3 actions, right? Usually procs 3 times during the game about.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here, but thanks to all of the players here for a great game, and congrats again to Catchy. You will be playing in the final against Dejf, Graey, and mikechike.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks, you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
All right, and to everyone watching out there on Twitch Live, on the Twitch VOD, or on YouTube when I post this, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this cast, and have a great rest of your day.